So basically for a part of the CRM module, we requested him to take a couple of sessions on the project management. And as you know, last year, one project company called, I forgot the name. They were,
Bones engineers.
ah, what is that?
Bones.
Bodas engineer. They have taken two of our students. I think they have joined. They are doing very well. And this year also we are expecting some of a few more consulting company for that area. So we thought it is very important that all we should know. Anyway, you all gone through the project management course. I think this course was taught by Professor Vikram Hande last semester. So, and he has left us. So he's no more with us. So that's why we thought we'll request Sudhakar sir to take a couple of sessions to give a recap. Okay. So with these few words, I welcome Sudhakar. Thank you, Sudhakar, for accepting our invitation,
Yeah.
and I'm sure students will benefit from your session. So with these few words, I request you to take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. As great. So all the 2022 batch students, welcome and all the best to you. I understand from Professor Murthy that you are completing one and then you'll start your placements shortly, probably next month or a couple of months later. So this he requested me to take comprehensive review model on the project management. So that's why I'm here today. So as he introduced me, I was a mechanical engineer with a postgraduate diploma in management, working with a multinational engineering company for almost 38 years, executing projects basically, primarily construction-driven projects. That's my specialty. I mean, that's where my experience is there basically. So let's try and quickly review the project management activities what we have done so far. I was told that these CRM session will be in two sessions. One is right now, and one more will be on 19th or something. So we'll cover part of it today and part of it later on. And I hope my voice is audible and it's clear to everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, that's good. So that's fine. So basically, my question is, uh, how many of you are really interested in taking a career in project management? Can anybody answer on behalf of the entire class? Anybody is interested in project management as a career, basically? Because you have multiple choice. Given an option, you have multiple choice. Which one you prefer?
Yes, sir. Project management.
You feel so? That's what I could see from somebody in the chat box also. That's great. So why do you feel so? Why do you feel that you need to go in project management? What makes you feel that you should get into project management? Any thoughts about that? Why do you feel that you need to go into project management? Any thoughts? Anybody can say something? Any issues? So I'm sure you have multiple options. So operations, that's normal one. What you're doing it now. So project management is one of the ones. Supply chain management, or it could be anything else also. If somebody has a passion for project management, why so? I mean, why do you want to take a project management?
Sir, for me personally, I like the project. I want to make a career in project management because I like the tasks that are given to a project manager, such as
Mm-hmm,
the planning, the initiation of the project, the execution of the project,
mm-hmm.
how it will be. Basically, he is the main supervisor of that project.
Yeah,
So he has to plan out everything. He has to carry out each and every he
yeah,
has to assign the those little tasks, and he has also consider the goals. He has to make the goals achievable, the
right,
timelines he should set, the budget he should take care of.
right,
He should, based on all these things, he should create a project plan, and then it also the project, the profile of the project manager also is used in he is also used in assessing the risks that are associated with the project. So
That's right.
basically, it is a very vast domain and a vast profile where I would get to learn about many things in a
Mhm.
single profile.
Okay, so that's one of the key reasons. Okay, let me tell you something different, probably. Maybe I'm just adding to what you said just now. I took up the career in project management primarily because, as I said, I used to work in atomic energy prior to joining the multinational company. So we were doing a project, an R&D project, converting into a lab scale and everything. I mean, a bench scale, a pilot plant and everything. So as an engineer, I was able to contribute a lot to that one, and we were doing it. Then I realized in project management, each project is unique. Okay, so that's how the definition of project comes into picture. So when I was in my college, final year college of engineering, and we were going for our India tour, I was seen like Taj Mahal or Qutub Minar or maybe some other temple, something else. We went on an industrial tour kind of a thing. I said, I need to build the modern temples of India, really. And what are modern temples of India? They are nothing but the new factories, new plants, new industries kind of a thing. But that's where we work and we develop employment, everything else. So I said, if I join one organization where I'm going to be in a production line, okay, this is purely my personal view, nothing to do with anything else. I said that I'm going to be associated with, say, I'm producing, I joined Maruti assume, and I'm producing Maruti cars continuously. Yeah, that's a production line kind of a thing. But if I join Maruti and I set up a Maruti plant, and then I move on to setting up a Tata Motors plant, then I move on to setting up a refinery or a cement plant or do something else. Each one is something unique, new altogether. And we learn a lot of new things in that one. A car manufacturing plant is totally different from a cement manufacturing plant, is totally different from a refinery, totally different from a pharmaceutical plant. They're all unique. So every time you are doing a unique activity, you learn a lot of things. Okay. So that's one of the reasons why I said I would like to go to a project management because I want to learn every day something new. In a production organization, it's a repetitive jobs. In project management, hardly any repetitive jobs. You do everything new, what you said just now. Give a task, give some assignments, make sure that you have the right budget, right everything. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just share a small PPT quickly, and then we'll move forward through with that with our summary of what we have done in the last semester, what you have done in project management. So I'm trying to share my screen. You're able to see my screen now? Hello?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Oh, you're not able to see? Okay, 1 minute, just hold on. Okay, apparently I have some problem. I'm not able to share it. 1 minute, just hold on a minute. Huh?
You know the process, no? That
Yeah, I know. I used to do it, but somehow my computer is not working. So there's unexpected problem basically. Okay, forget it. Let's have a look in a different way. I'll see my screen and I'll talk to you probably. Then in that case. Okay, how does screen go? Now you're able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are in CRM module 1. That's what we are saying. So let's go forward, basically. Yes. So today's session we'll take up the first portion of it, project of the first 5 chapters, and then we'll move forward. The second one we'll take it up on 19th November. So we'll start with the definition of project. Just now, as somebody said, yeah, the definition of project. You have a unique activity. That's what we said. So it's a task basically, or series of related tasks. So like I was saying, we will execute a project. So we have a series of tasks or something, which has a definite beginning. So I said the project has started now, and it has got a definite end. It doesn't go endlessly, so the project has got a definite start and an end, and creates a change. Ultimately, we need to deliver a benefit. So I said, I'm going to set up a cement plant or something else. I start with somewhere, end somewhere else, produce cement, and that's the end of it. That's the project definition over, and then we hand it over to the operations team, and from there onwards, they do it. So basically, what I'm saying is it's usually unique, not continually repetitive kind of a thing. Okay, specific start and finish. Anybody wants to add anything more to this one? The constraint on time, cost, resources, that's what we said. That's the definition what is given. And I'm sure we all are clear about this. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we normally have this triple constraint. I'm sure you all understand this triple constraint. Anybody got any doubt? Like you got a performance, you need to do some specific requirement within a given time and given cost. So this is what we call as a triple constraint. I'm sure everybody understands. In addition to this, is there any other constraint? Anything else which you feel you need to be taken care of in a project? Apart from time, cost, and performance? Anybody got any thoughts?
Sir, quality.
Yeah, performance means quality also is included in that performance. I want to produce something of the right quality and the right specifications kind of thing. That's a part of the performance itself. Okay, so my organization, we have developed the fourth constraint, which we normally tell you, I am just putting it down below, is the safety. So we said this is an additional constraint. You want to do something else, but you want to do it in a safe manner. You want to reach from Bombay to Delhi in certain time, or Bombay to, I'm giving an example. I'm from Mumbai, so I'm not sure how many of you are from Mumbai. When you start from Kharghar, which is our college, to VT station, I take a taxi and go, or a motorbike and go. I want to reach in time safely. Safety is important. I don't want to disturb anybody else probably. I want to make my performance within the time and within the cost, but in a safe manner. This normally happens in construction projects. When we do something, we take shortcuts, we land up into unsafe situations many times. So we added a fourth constraint called safety is one of the prime requirements. So in addition to that, expectations of management and clients are not an additional target. The management expects you to do something beyond these things. That is not an additional target. It's inherent part of the project requirements. So like safety, if my management tells me you execute the project within the time, cost, and performance requirement, but automatically think of safety also. I don't want to hurt anybody else. So it's a part of the safety. I want to follow all ethical norms. Management doesn't tell me to bypass any ethical norms kind of a thing. So we said we want to follow all the ethical norms, all the codes and standards, or all the statutory requirements. We don't want to bypass them. That's an understood kind of a thing from in all these things. So normally when you go there to anybody, yeah, we are the normal triple constraint, but you have a safety and ethical practices are equally important, which are not described so much in the textbooks probably. So what is project management? I'm sure you all understand. What we have the knowledge, we have the skills, tools and techniques, all these things, and application of all these things. Okay, and expectation of stakeholder on the project to meet or exceed the needs and expectations. I would like to satisfy or make my management, if my own project is internal project, or if it's a client project, I want to exceed their expectations. That's with all the tools and techniques what we have, we need to do that one. That's our objective basically when we execute a project. When I said a cement plant costs 1,000 crores of rupees, and if I can do it in 900 crores, probably something, I'm just putting an example, client would be extremely happy. So I'm trying to save money. I'm trying to save something else. If my target is to do in 24 months the project, and if I've done in 22 months, yeah, client must be happy probably. We have exceeded their expectations. So project management is something which we would like to do as a target, I mean, as a goal for ourselves, meet or exceed the expectations of the stakeholders. That it could be stakeholders, could be the client or our own management, or it could be general public, it could be anything. Okay, so the bottom line of project management is you have to predict and prevent any unforeseen things, not recognition and reaction. The last sentence. If I failed, something happened, and after failing, now I have recognized that I have failed in this so and so activity. So I'll react. Okay, I'll do something else. That's different way of looking at it. What if I can forecast in advance what is going to happen, and how can I prevent it from that failure to happen? That's where the project management comes into picture. So I said, if I want to do some like I'm just giving an example, easy example to understand people. I want to organize a birthday party for one of the students here. So we call everybody. We said the budget is there are going to be 25 people are going to come to the party, and dinner is reserved. So per head 500 rupees. So that's the budget we have created. And I said I'll take a hall. So the venue is given. The timing is evening 6 to 9 or something. That's the timing we have fixed. Budget is we have fixed. And how do you celebrate the birthday? Bring a cake, put a music system, put a camera, photos, enjoy the evening party probably. But if something is going to happen, today is uh, November, for month of the November. I said, yeah, I'm expecting 25 friends, but somebody said I would like to bring two or more of my friends who are going to come here. So 25 is going to become 27. But they are required. That's what he feels. Or the birthday boy feels that he needs to bring, apart from our class, he want to bring the adjacent class people also. So if I can predict it, I can create my budget or I can create something differently. If I can't predict it, I can't do that one. So project management is very important. Look at it. How do you predict what's going to happen in future? Like what somebody said in the earlier, risk. What is the risk involved in all these things? How do I manage? How do I forecast the risk? How do I manage the risk? That's something which we would like to do it probably. So it's nothing but in short planning, organizing, monitoring, and control of the project. And of course, motivation of all involved to achieve the project objectives. Yeah, I called 25 people for the birthday party, but I couldn't motivate. Hardly 5 people turned up. How does it look like? I could motivate people to come for the birthday party. But that was the project which I thought we'll be doing it. So what is important from project management is you have to really motivate all involved to achieve the project objectives. If everybody is synchronized or together, they can achieve the goal. If each one is pulling in a different direction, then you can't achieve the goal. And a project is normally a teamwork. It's not done by alone. Project manager is somebody ahead of the leader there, but he's bringing everybody together. So that's one of the key requirements, motivation of all involved. That's one of the key requirements of project management and project execution also. So it's basically art and science. It's not just science alone. It's an art because you need to motivate, you need to do a lot of things with the people there. You're handling people there basically. So it's basically art and science of project goals in achieving the cost, schedule, and other constraints basically. Do you all agree with that one, or do you have any different opinion on this one?
Agree, sir.
Yeah. So you will generally jump onto project categories. I'm sure these are normal system what you must already derivative projects, platform projects, or breakthrough projects, R&D projects. There are various kinds of projects are there. So today, Mukesh Ambani is trying to enter into solar energy. So it's more like a totally new venture for him altogether. Earlier, it was electric cars are coming up now. That's like a newer technology, a breakthrough in automobile industry, obviously. So these are different kind of projects. Just for our information, I'm sure you all understand these things. I'm just trying to cover the various types of projects. So basically, I'm trying to see that what kind of projects are there. So if at the end of this course, you're joining a organization and you are put up into a project, any project. So you would like to know what kind of project it is. It's a routine project, which incremental. I'm trying to do something. Like I'm sure some of you must be joining, I'm trying to assume, software industry. So you have developed the software. It needs to be modified a little bit here and there. So it's a derivative project. Bulk of it is done already. You need to change a little bit, modify that to suit more specific needs. Then it becomes like a derivative project kind of a thing. Or you're trying to generate totally a new kind of a thing, slightly different one, major departures of that. So what kind of project you are going to be that helps you think differently probably. So there's more a routine kind of a thing. And also similarly, you have a project selection. I'm sure when you pick up a project, you want to look at the payback period kind of a thing, how much time it takes to recover the investment. That's the other one what we try to normally look at it. Yeah, investing say 100 crores, so how many days, how many years I'm going to get it. So that's how the success of the project or the one is measured. So you need to understand this terminology like payback period or net present value and other things. That's a simple, straightforward kind of a thing. What is more important is look at the phase of project. I'm sure you must have seen this slide when you are in the college also, something similar to this. So when you start a project, when you're joining a project, you're starting a project. The first phase, it's in 7 phases totally. The first phase is the business opportunity analysis. Yeah, I want to set up a project. So what kind of a opportunity analysis is there for me? So does the project make a sense? That's what I look at it. So anybody from Mumbai here in this team? So it's easy for me to give an example of Mumbai city. Then it's easy to understand this concept much easier.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if somebody is from Mumbai, just look at it. If you want to buy a house, assume, I'm sure you all understand Kharghar area. So if I want to buy a flat or a house or something, how much it costs? Or you all understand that Navi Mumbai airport is coming up in Ulve somewhere, that's right. So there's a business opportunity there, probably. So if I want to buy a house close to the airport something, what kind of investment I need to make it probably?
Sir,
So-
for normal 2 BHK, we would get anything around 85 to 90 lakhs.
Yeah. So you're going to have a thumbs up. One kind of a simple, straightforward estimate. A 2 BHK flat could be say about 700 square feet or something, or 600 square feet kind of a thing. So per square foot, X amount of the rate in that area. So I said thumb rule, okay, 85 lakhs probably something. So does it make sense to buy that kind of a thing? Like if I'm trying to discuss that with somebody here, now my airport is coming up. If I'm Taj Hotel Group, I want to set up a hotel here. Does it make sense now? So should I take near the airport? The airport is likely to come up in the next 2-3 years. So if I start doing it, what kind of business I can get it? How I'm going to get it? So I look at a business opportunity kind of a thing. Then I decide, yeah, conceptual. So what kind of a hotel I should put it? 5-star hotel, 4-star or 3-star? Or like what you said just now, 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom or a single bedroom? What kind of a flat I should buy it probably? So my requirements, my family is of say 3 or 4 people. So I thought I need to have at least 2-bedroom flat probably. So identification of requirements, that's what we'll do it. Discovery of site conditions. Okay, Uran, what is the communication? Yeah, nowadays local trains are going up there. Airport is likely to come up. the bridge to Sivri is coming up to the Mumbai main city. So I think in future, maybe if I buy it today and do it, in future I'm going to get something more in that area. It's the prices are likely to go up, and then I'll have better communication, everything. It will be a good thing probably for me to do it. So I conceptualize and say, yeah, then I would like to say instead of 2 bedroom, can I do for 3 bedroom kind of a thing? Or a 2 bedroom flat, that's good enough for me. If I take a decision on that one. And then I define my project. So if you go through all these phases, business opportunity, conceptual, project definition, detailed design, construction, startup, and close out. So these are the 7 stages. Just go through the next slide and see it, how it goes out. The first is feasibility business opportunity. I said, yeah, assess the market. I look at the initial analysis. I make a rough cost estimate. What you said, 85 lakhs, it could be plus minus maybe 65 lakhs to 85, 1 crore, 0.5 lakhs, depending on other conditions slightly, whether it's closer to the highway or it's slightly interior from the highway. A lot of other factors are there. But approximately, these are kind of a range in which we are talking about. Then when I go to next level, conceptual, then I say, yeah, what is the requirement really? Go and look at the site. I said, this site is slightly away from the main road, but it's good. Main road, there are a lot of traffic, so without disturbance, noise levels are high. So it's preferable to go inside a little bit. The moment I now go a little bit inside, maybe the prices can fall down a little bit probably. And how is the plot there? So I look at those requirements, project viability. So what kind of a project viable is it viable here or not? Who are the builders who are constructing it here? Can I contact the builders and find out and look at their proposals kind of a thing? So I'm coming closer to my estimate. Instead of plus minus 100%, I'm coming to plus minus 30% or 20% kind of a thing. And say my concepts are getting clear. So in any project, this is how the steps keep going on. Then when look at it, should I go to bigger builder or shall I go to a smaller kind of builder? What kind of design basis I should have it? What is the execution strategy? So those things I look at it, and then I negotiate with builders. I said, okay, give me plus minus 10%. These are the costs. So I need the moment I go and talk to a builder, he said, do you need a car parking space? Do you need a clubhouse inside the complex? If I say yes, okay, the cost might vary a little bit. If I don't need all those things, the cost may come down. So I define the project is defined more accurately. If I define that accurately, my cost estimate becomes very precise, more accurate. So I said, then it comes to plus minus 10% one. And schedule also, okay, if this is how what you need, I can deliver within 1 year kind of thing. Otherwise, it may take some more time probably. So that's what we call front-end engineering project definition. Then actually you carry out construction, finalize contractors, go ahead and do actual construction, and then you occupy the place probably. So these are the steps which normally would happen. So these are the different phases of a project. Any project, this is what actually happens, whether it is a software project or a physical construction project, whether it's a construction of a road or a building or a factory. You think of anything, and these things do come into picture probably. Right? Finally, when you start up and close up, these are the 7 phases. So at the end, you close out, and you, with the claims and counter claims to the contractor, if you have something else, you settle all those things and make the final payment, registration of your flat or whatever it is. All these things will be out. That's the end of it. You get your documents back in condition properly, and that will be the closeout of a housing project what we are discussing. Something similar to that can happen in industrial project or any other basically. So these are the 7 stages normally what you have in any project, right? Any queries, any doubts, anything else which you want to know about this? So you understand what is PGTR? When I execute a project, an industrial project, I give a performance guarantee test run. I run it and say, this is the guarantee I'm giving you. This is how it works. I buy a fridge. I say, oh, there's a guarantee of so many days. It works properly, everything else. So when I do a project, construction project, yeah, this works properly and there's a guarantee for that one. And I also give operating and maintenance manuals, everything else. So in the industrial project, all these things do come into picture. I train them how to do the run the plant, operator training. All these things happen. When you buy a software, also when you do a software project, you develop a software, you hand over to somebody, you train those people, make sure they understand the intricacies of the software, how to operate, how to do it, and then you move forward basically. So these are the various startups setups which you do it, and then naturally you give some warranties and guarantees and other things. That's what in the closeout it comes out to basically. So typical project life cycle, yeah, at peak, the planning, scheduling, monitoring, control, you get the peak one. So typically, I'm sure you all understand the project has got a progress is in S curve. It starts off slowly, it goes to the peak requirement, then slowly it comes down again. So that's the typical project cycle. The project manager has got a heavy pressure on the beginning, when it throughout, of course. When you have more number of people working at the peak, you want to make sure that the coordination among the entire team is done properly so that there's no miss outs, nothing else happens here. So that's where the project life cycle comes into picture. So how do we execute projects? Different projects are executed in different methods. I've written down some of the types here. I'm talking more about from industrial projects point of view. LEPCs, including supply of technology. Yeah, I want to set up a car manufacturing plant, and Santro comes here from Korea. He sets up the plant, everything else for me. So he tells me the license. He tells me how to manufacture a car, what are the key requirements, everything else, including the technology for that. Or I'm setting up a refinery. The technology is given by somebody else. So he tells, these are the technology, this is how you should be running it. So where the technology is also coming from somebody, it's called LEPC, that is licensed engineering, procurement and construction. EPC stands for engineering, procurement and construction. You can execute the projects in a different way. Normally, government of India does on a lump sum turnkey problem way. It's a fixed cost. So if I want to lay a road from the point A to point B, I select a contractor. I said, this area, this road, this is the definition I've given you. You need to lay the road and give me, and what is the fixed price for that. So there's no discussion later on. So everything is fixed. The responsibility is clearly defined to the contractor. So what happens in a lump sum turnkey is your definition of the project has to be very accurate. Interface has to be very accurate. Where it starts, where it ends, what is the starting point, what is the end point, how you hand over, everything should be clear. Then somebody can put a lump sum price, fixed price. So normally the clients, like especially Government of India, doesn't have the tech people to monitor the lump sum turnkey contractor. So they appoint a PMC, project management consultant. So project management consultant is the owner's representative, supports the owner in executing the project. So he has got experience, but he doesn't have tools, tackles, and labor and other things to do it. He's a management consultant. So most of the projects we were doing the management consultancy, and we used to deploy lump sum turnkey contractors or contractors and then get the job done. So there are different routes: EPCM service route, cost reimbursable contracts, cost plus contracts. So these are the different types of contracts, how you execute projects basically. So choice is available to us depending on our strengths and weaknesses, or the owner's strengths and weaknesses. Okay, the various things can be followed. Like EPCM service route, Reliance was got a lot of project management staff. They normally go for EPCM service route. They ask us to do engineering. They ask us to do procurement support. They ask us to do construction management, but they are always behind us. They always look at it and they make sure that their active participation is there. They can modify, change whatever they want in between, kind of a thing. So the active participation by owner. So the typical example, Government of India does a lump sum turnkey or a PMC lump sum turnkey routes. Reliance does most of the money PCM services route. Sometimes it's cost reimbursable or cost plus also. Okay. Any questions? Anything else on this subject?
No, sir.
Okay. So we'll move forward then. So let's come down to project manager. So project manager is nothing but a project leader, as somebody said just now. So appointed, who takes, is a leader of the project. So he plans, he implements, he completes the project. So the initial task he said, as I said, he has got a preliminary budget, and as the stages of project keeps moving forward, he develops the budget, accuracy of the budget, schedules, everything else. So otherwise, he makes the initial preliminary budget and schedule and other things. And select the project team. So you need a lot of multi-talented people in executing any project. So you select the team members, you get those team members, and then you start getting them and then execute the project. The stakeholder could be an external client if you are a project organization like ours, what I said, or your own management. If it is an internal project to the organization, your management could be your client. So you need to understand the project objectives and very clearly. So I'm sure you understand this. When we were doing a pharma project, I don't know how much of you are aware of the pharma plants. Pharma plants come out with a new product every time, the new technology. They do a lot of R&D work. Like I'm sure you must have seen COVID vaccination. They do a lot of research work, R&D work, generate a vaccination. It has to be tested on people and then get an approval of World Health Organization and something else, and then you can deliver into the market. Otherwise, you can't deliver into the market. You can't get into the market. So when you are doing R&D, somebody else is doing the R&D. So whoever comes first can beat the market. Okay, Corona is something different slightly, but it's a sudden huge demand. But any product, any project of that nature, that's how it happens. So the key requirement is the technology, and before somebody patents the formula, you need to come into the market and you need to patent it. So a lot of R&D works, and parallelly they do execute projects and keep ready with the development of project. A lot of risk involved into that one. So a project manager for a pharma project has to be coordinating with R&D and then executing the project also. We have done a couple of projects of that nature where the day on which the WHO or equivalent of that one gave a clearance, our product could come into the market. So you can create a premium on that one. So this happens mostly in US based companies. That's where the R&D works keep going on. Nowadays in India it's happening. So this kind of a initial understanding of the project, clear goals should be clear for a project manager. And then you need to lead the project team accordingly, basically. And project team is a group of bunch of people. Now I just want to tell you here something slightly different, and the project manager has to manage these people. And nowadays, if you look at it on the software projects, it's a globally done project, is globally executed. Somebody sitting in India, somebody sitting in US, somebody sitting in Europe, work together on a project, on a software project, and develop it something. So you have different time zones, different cultural backgrounds, different requirements, and then you need to bring together, and you are the project manager for such a team. So you just imagine each one has a different requirement, and then you need to manage all those things. You need to manage all these people and then execute it. The project manager has to be really skilled to manage this kind of a setup. Okay? So I thought that example would be helpful in for you to understand the difficulties. In my own project, when we were doing a project, we had about 500 people sitting and working on a project. Each one had different requirements. Each one has different backgrounds. The girls, boys, everybody is working together on that one. So each one has a different. Somebody can't sit late. Somebody can sit late. Somebody has young kids at home. They can't sit late and do it. Somebody has to take leave immediately. So you need to manage all these things and still do it. So the real difficult thing for a project manager is to people management really. And for that, PM needs to have a lot of competency, like I've written down here: intellectual, managerial, emotional. So a project manager has to be like what I can say is like a I don't know how many of you can understand. Lord Vishnu had a or sleeps on a snake but travels on a bird. The idea behind that is you need to have a bird's eye view of the entire project. You need to be knowing exactly what's happening in every corner and every portion of the project. But at the same time, you have to be like a snake, like in a small hole crevice. If something going wrong there, you should be able to view it and identify it and take action that one. So a project manager should have a vision, imagination, can think about what can go wrong where, and have a bird's eye view of the entire project. That's the kind of a requirement is really that's the kind of a talent is really required for a project manager. So strategic perspective, vision, and imagination are things. What can go wrong, where something can go wrong, and you have to prevent it from going wrong. You need to have plan A, plan B, plan C kind of a thing. In addition to that, managerial quotient, what I said, you should be able to empower, you should be able to develop, you should be able to engage in communications. All these things are required. You need to be able to match your frequencies with your teamwork, team people. Somebody may be arrogant, somebody may be polite, somebody is timid, somebody is aggressive. You should be able to manage all those people. So for that, and at the same time, you should be able to emotional cohesion. You should be able to motivate, sensitize, and influence people, kind of a thing. The key thing is, for every member of your project, you need to know their strengths and weaknesses. Use their strength, cover up their weakness. And that's what you need to do. Now, how to do it, that's a different issue. But you need to know, if once you know what is the weakness of somebody, yeah, then you can cover it up and you can do it. If somebody has got a very good presentation skills, yeah, use him for all presentations kind of thing. Somebody is good in writing up something, use him for those things. Somebody is good in planning, okay, use him for planning kind of thing. So you need to understand their strengths and weaknesses. That's the most important thing for a project manager. So as I said, soft skills, you should be able to negotiate, train, time management, flexibility, communication, presentation skills. All these things you need to have something. These are the soft skills what you need to have it. Same thing with hard skills, technical skills, financial skills. If you are setting up a cement plant for myself, I mean, just looking at it, I have done a cement plant, a steel plant, a refinery, a petrochemicals, a pharma, a glass plant, all these things I've done. So when you enter into a plant, yeah, you need to understand, you need to learn a lot of things. So you look at it, what is the really key thing in this one? Where do I need to focus on that one? So if you can understand the background technically, what is really required, the exact technical skill you can borrow from somebody else, but you need to know what is really required there. Same thing with financial skills. Government rules, regulations, statutory requirements, risk management, all these things. So these are the hard skills of a project manager. Any doubts? Anything else on this one? So you have to manage the people, that's more important. That's what it is. And with all these skills background, then you can really execute a project very clearly and very successfully. Let's move on to conflict. I'm sure when two people are there, there could be some disagreements. That's any disagreement is a conflict. So when we are working as a team, between the team member there could be a conflict, or between you and a team member there could be a conflict. Between any two individuals it could be there. So it can create a negative impact or negative emotions, or it can also create a constructive impact. It can generate new ideas. So a conflict has both sides, negative side as well as positive side. So look at the positive side and see how you can. Sometimes we create conflict to generate something positive energy. So as a project manager, you need to understand this conflict analysis and then how do you handle this conflict situations basically. And you need to negotiate, and that's an art of negotiating a conflict. So why conflict can come? We have a difference in expectation. I expect something else and you expect something else. So there's a difference in expectations. Like I said in the birthday party, I was expecting I will get some AC room kind of a thing and I can comfortably sit and eat, but you didn't put an AC kind of a thing. I said, no, in November, AC is not required. It's cool outside. He said, no, but my expectation is I need to have something of that nature. So it could be expectations, or it could be difference in knowledge, or purely misunderstanding. We assume a lot of things. We rarely put ourselves into opposite person's shoes and try to understand his views. But a project manager has to do that work. You need to put yourself into the shoes of the team member and see from his angle how does he look like? How does he look at this whole thing? And then you can appreciate his views probably. And then the whole conflict can be resolved in no time. It was because of misunderstanding or miscommunication. So one of the key requirements of project manager is putting yourself into other person's shoes and looking at the things. If you can do that, that's something great of project management. And conflicts can be quickly resolved. So I'm sure you all understand the different styles. So it just says passive behavior. Okay, I'm surrendering, I'm not okay, you're okay, you're the best person. That's how we accommodating style or avoiding style or aggressive behavior or assertive behavior. So there are different kinds of behaviors. With different people, you need to look at it in a different way, manage things in a different way. So that if you know the other person's behavior and his strengths, weaknesses, you can use any of these styles and then resolve the conflicts, basically. Okay, I'm not okay, you're okay, or assertive behavior or aggressive behavior, forcing style. I'm okay, you're not okay. So these kind of things are required to be. So once you basic function is understanding your project, you have the budget, time, everything else. You have your team, you have requirements of the team. You understand the strengths and weaknesses. You try to execute those things. Your chances of you getting into the project is successfully is good. Now let's look at from the organization type. What kind of organizations you have? So normally three types: functional, freestanding, or matrix. Here are the three types of things. So basically it's a functional organization or freestanding. There's nothing like a right or wrong. Each one has a different applications. So let's look at it, these organizations, how it is. I'm sure you all understand the typical functional organization. So there's a engineering, operations, finance, administration, marketing, HR. So these are all the various functions, and each one has a staff below them. And when you work on a project, you pick up from everybody. They all report to their heads, and you all work as a team. So the specialized working is required when you require really the functional organization is quite good enough, because if there's a problem, there are a lot of other people in that department to help him to overcome that problem. So for example, I'm discussing about my organization. We are engineering company, as I said. We are designing a refinery. It's not easy. There are a lot of complicated equipment in that, high pressure, high temperature, a lot of things. And we have a discipline which can design that one. So we have somebody identified who's available, who's doing it. But we had what we call as subject matter experts in each discipline. They are exclusively experts in that department to execute something which is something very difficult for a normal person, a normal, inexperienced person. They are highly experienced in that specialized fields kind of thing. So when we take up that kind of an activity, we call that SME, subject matter expert. We get it done, and then he leaves the project again. The rest of the work is done by somebody else within his organization, within his team. So the functional organization helps in getting the specialized activity performed by subject matter experts. That's one of the key advantages what we had. So that's where we use in specialized skills, we use this kind of a thing. Or we are doing a special project specifically. A project as the organization is something like we have got a project A, B, C, D, E, something like that. Each project has got a team. The team consists of members from all specialization. They work as a team together. This has its own advantages. The communication becomes very faster in these kind of things. One, there is a time-driven projects which are simple but time-driven. Nothing complicated in that, but in a timely manner you need to execute. This kind of a project organization helps a lot. So the whole team sits at one place, communicates among themselves faster enough so that the interdependency between the disciplines or between the functions is taken off quickly. So like I'm doing road work, I'm constructing it, I have to design the road and I have to construct a road. But there are a lot of electrical work is required because there are street lights and other things. So nothing complicated. All you need to do is lay a pipe sleeve through it, or lay a cable through it. So what kind of a size of the pipe is required, or for the cables, or some cross firefighting lines, or some pipelines are going on. So I need to put some pipes below that one. Nothing complicated in that. Simple. So when I'm got a team together, they quickly do it, and then we finish the design very fast and accurate. So project-based organization helps in faster delivery of projects, communication. It helps a lot in communication. Okay, that's where we use it. So in my organization, we have different disciplines, but when I get a routine kind of a simple projects, I develop a project team, put them separately in one specified location in the building, and as you work among yourselves, communicate everything else, and you quickly do the project. We monitor the project, but we quickly do it. So it's called a task force. A task force is created, having all the entire team. They are identified at a location, and then they are asked to sit together so that they can communicate fast. So the other one is a matrix organization, where we have got all the disciplines as well as the project team. So we have a dual responsibility. I'll show you the second slide, this one. So I have a project manager, whereas a mechanical engineer, piping, instrument, electrical, everybody required. They all report to the project manager, but they have dual reporting. One end they report to the project manager, other end they report to the process or the respective department heads. So they have dual reporting. So for me to coordinate, I need the team and I can coordinate as a project manager. But technically, when they need any help, they go back and they talk to their department heads and they manage it. So this is a third kind of a thing which is also used in projects. So we have three: a simple discipline-wise, or earlier one was projectized organization or a matrix organization. So depending on the nature of project, the strengths and weakness of the people, you can decide what kind of a project team organization is required for that one. Okay. The last one, today's one, we will cover about risk planning. So I'm sure you all have seen these slides in the past also. It's very easy to define the shortest route. We know everything what is to be done, how to be done. It's a straightforward. But typically, when you start doing it, the road is full of danger. So many changes do come up. So you need, as a project manager, you need to make sure that you overcome all these hindrances or problems, and then still achieve the destination requirements. So as I said, if I'm organizing a simple thing like a birthday party, and 3 people more have come up suddenly, or 10 people have not come down, have not turned up, how do they handle those kind of things? Or the cake fellow did not deliver the cake in time because it was raining heavily outside, or something else has happened there. So how do you manage those things? So if you can think of ahead, what can go wrong? How do you tackle that one? Then you can manage most of the things. But otherwise also, if there's a problem, you need to be ready to find a solution together, agreeable solution, and move forward kind of thing. Like what we were discussing, simple thing like a house construction. Somebody said, yeah, these are the definition, this is how I'm doing it. Suddenly when somebody goes to his house and say, builder, I don't want this tiling, I want a marble flooring. No, there's some change can come up. And the change will lead to some cost and schedule impact probably. And if such kind of a thing is there, how do you manage probably? Okay, so if you can pass it on to the customer, that's a different issue. But if you can't pass it on, the requirement, then you need to be ready to manage those things. Then predict and get those things upfront, discussed, minuted, made sure that specs are clearly understood, and move forward. So the project manager is really important to look at all these changes which when we move forward, these changes do happen. How do you tackle that? What are the priorities and other things? Well, I'm sure you know about the risk evaluation. So there are something which are known risks, known events and unknown impact. Impact is not known, or unknown events and impact known after the event, or unknown both sides. So it's totally left to the God basically. So risk is nothing but an event which may or may not happen and may have a positive or negative impact either way. So I'm sure you must have read all these things. So if you are the project manager for any organization, you need to be able to go into depth, understand what are the events, what can happen, what can go wrong basically. Discuss with people. Look at the previous records. Where did we go wrong in the past? And then make sure that you try to overcome those things. Sometimes at some cost, and sometimes it could be a positive impact also could be there. So normally we make a risk matrix, probability, impact, urgency, and finally risk rating. This is what we try to do it. I'm sure you have read these things in the past. So look at that risk, and then depending on the risk rating and other things, you take the actions accordingly. Low impact or high impact, you define that, and then move forward. Yeah, any questions, anything else, any feedback, how do you feel this? Do you need anything else more? I thought these what